Let's talk about the implications of the 2024 election. The election results represent a nightmare scenario at the federal level in the United States. The Republicans not only won the presidency, which will be held by Donald Trump, but Republicans also won majority control of both chambers of Congress, the US Senate and the House of Representatives. That means that not only will Donald Trump have full powers over the federal executive branch of government, but Trump's Project 2025 agenda will have absolutely no checks from either chamber of the US Congress, the legislative branch of United States government. And similarly, with GOP control of both chambers of Congress, the Republican majority will be able to push their anti-woman, anti-LGBTQIA, anti-immigrant, xenophobic, white Christian nationalist agenda with no checks from the executive branch. Everything this Congress passes, no matter how insane it is, will be signed into law by Donald Trump, the president. So we've covered two branches of our government, executive and legislative. Third branch of government in the United States is the judicial branch, or the courts. So our highest court in the land, the Supreme Court of the United States, has had a conservative supermajority since 2020. And this is largely thanks to Donald Trump's first term as president. This is the same conservative supermajority that repealed Roe v. Wade, rolling back abortion rights at the federal level of the United States government back in 2022. In the next 4 years of a Trump presidency, any of the Supreme Court justices who retire or pass away during their terms are going to be replaced by Donald Trump, and he is going to select similarly conservative-minded justices to appoint for life to the Supreme Court. What's more, for the judicial branch of government is that Trump will have the ability to appoint federal judges for the next 4 years. Federal judges serve for life. During his first term, Donald Trump appointed numerous federal judges. It was actually one of his big successes. And he did a lot in that first term to totally reshape the judiciary of the American government. And now he's going to have another chance to do it again. Now he's going to have 4 more years to continue that legacy in reshaping the US judiciary. If all of this makes you want to rip your hair out, please don't do that yet. I've got more to share and a little bit of context and contrast to add. Yes, it is going to be a really painful 2 years ahead of us. But please remember that Trump was elected in 2016, and 2 years later, during the 2018 midterms, there was a blue tsunami which totally shifted the makeup of the US House of Representatives, that one specific chamber of Congress. It was in those 2018 midterms that the squad came to be, and that was the election where AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley were elected into Congress. However, I will note in the 2018 midterms, Democrats were not able to win control of the Senate and have a majority Democrats in the Senate. The Democratic Party made a lot of mistakes this year in 2024, which resulted in huge election losses across the presidency and both chambers of Congress at the federal level. But if the party analyzes these mistakes honestly, acknowledging that it kowtowed to corporate interests and billionaires over the needs of working people who are the heart of its base, and it sold its soul, ignoring its own base in its own presidential administration's complicity in Israel's genocide in Gaza. If the party learns from these huge mistakes, then it has the opportunity to address the needs of voters who have traditionally voted Democratic and win them back in the 2026 midterms. As I've said about President Biden and Vice President Harris in the past, the Democratic Party's fate is in its own hands, and the party is going to chart its own course. The establishment and current leadership in the Democratic Party need to be pushed out. They're not going to relinquish power on their own. For the party to have the opportunity to become what it needs to be to serve the American people, and win big in the future. Thanks. If you thought this video was interesting, please subscribe to my channel. And I also send out a weekly newsletter. It's called Nadia Rahman Substack, and you can subscribe via the link in my bio.